pledge to stay drug-free.
I plan to stay drug-free.
I pledge to stay drug-free.
I pledge to be drug-free.
I pledge to stay drug-free.
And good afternoon, and welcome to Expose Under the Sun, sponsored by the Detroit Native Sun newspaper. My name is Darwin Griffin. I will be your host for today, and I am looking forward to my special guest, Miss Teresa Mitchell, that will be talking about an event that she has coming up in the upcoming days. But before we get started, our show is live, and you can call in. Our phone numbers that you can call in are 313-868-0342, 313-868-0351, 313-868-4336. And our website is www.tv33whpr.com. And we are televising live from the awesome city of Highland Park, Michigan, with the mayor, Hubert Yap. And you can also view us on Comcast Channel 90, as well as through Roku, Amazon, and other media outlets. Before we get started with my guest, I'd like to just make one announcement, and that is to recognize there's an organization that's called Prosperous Angels, and it's having a community vendor fair. And that's going to be held on Saturday, October the 19th, from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And that's going to be held at the Regal Towers Clubhouse, which is located at 27500 Franklin Road, Southfield, Michigan, 48234. And it's open to the public. And if you'd like to get more information about the event, you can contact area code 248-508-2385, and that's www.prosperousangels.com. And just wanted to let you know that there's going to be a lot of events that's going to be going on at this affair, and they're going to have crafts, music, art, and much, much more. So if you get an opportunity to go by there, just mention that you are coming by to support a very, very advantageous opportunity and a great, great opportunity to network and to meet some great new people at the same time. And I just want to give a shout out to Noel Love, who had given me this information. So appreciate you for giving me this information so I can share this with the public. But just one other little shout out that I just want to give too is that I want to thank everyone for getting an opportunity to come by and drop off coats for Detroit Downriver coat drive that they have. The weather's getting pretty cold out here. I mean, that temperature was something else the other day. I think it dropped down to like 37 degrees. So we definitely want to make sure that we don't have anybody that's out in the cold and not having the proper attire to be able to wear. So we've got another coat drive that we're going to be giving the end of this month. So I definitely want you to come by and support and bring whatever slightly used coats so that we can make certain that we distribute those coats to persons that need them. But before we get started, I am so pleased to tell you that I appreciate my special guest, and I just want to give a quick little shout out to Kimberly Cooley for, reconnecting me with an old friend that we had used to do a lot of community engagement with the Detroit Parent Network. But it's interesting when Kimberly had told me about her, and I heard the name, and I was thinking like, this name sounds familiar. And then when she came into the station today, I'm like, That's who I remember. And I was trying to remember exactly all the details. So, you know, sometimes you can see somebody and you can like say, I remember this person, but I'm trying to think of where. And what happens with some folks is that 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, you wake up and all of a sudden you get an epiphany and you're like, wow, I just remembered where I knew that person from. Or you just remembered something else about that person. So I'm glad that when, you know, my special guest came to the station today, that she made me recall how we knew each other, and I appreciate Teresa Mitchell for coming. Teresa, thank you for coming today.
Thank you so much for having me, Darwin.
And I just want to ask you a little bit about, now you've got an organization that you belong to, it's called Golden Girls Mentoring.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about what Golden Girl Mentoring, what is your mission and what is it that you do in the community?
Absolutely. So Golden Girls Mentoring is a program that actually services the entire gamut of women. We started with girls ages 11 through 19, but saw the need to service girls and women of all ages. And so we service young ladies 5 through 10 years old through activities and resources. 11 through 19, we provide them with mentoring support and entrepreneurship camps. 20 and over, which is our Golden Socialites, we provide networking and social experiences for the women that are 20 and over, and then we service mothers of all ages through our Golden Mamas program.
Now, when you say entrepreneurial programs, what type of entrepreneurial programs do you provide?
So it was so exciting for us to offer, actually this past summer, our very first entrepreneurship camp, where we provided the young ladies the opportunity to take DJ classes, a skill that more women are beginning to dominate in as of lately, but there are some that have been doing it for quite a long time. We also offered cosmetic development. And so we had local individuals, business owners to come out and teach our young ladies how to make their own lip gloss and bath bombs and things like that so that they can actually begin to make their own products. And one of our young ladies that actually won the scholarship, Shawnee's Glitter Gloss Express, will be registering her business and actually beginning to produce her lip gloss really soon.
Say that term again. You said that you use for them to do the cosmetic development. Is that what you called it?
Yes.
That's a new term on me, so I'd never heard that before. But cosmetic development, so they can learn how to make lip gloss and other products that they may be able to apply.
An industry that has always been in demand, but is ever growing.
And it's great that you have a lot more African Americans that are getting into that industry as well. Now, so you say you do some things also with their mothers and their guardians. What type of services do you offer to them?
So for the moms as well as the 20 and over, we have networking and social opportunities. Life sometimes just get in the way, and you become accustomed to a routine. It's work home, or work kids home. And so we're creating opportunities for women that won't necessarily have the time anymore to plan those social networking experiences that they normally did prior to having children or becoming full-time in their career. So taking away the pressure of planning those activities, we plan them and just invite women to come out and join us. And so as far as the mothers go, we offer a support group for the moms. I know when I first became a mom, I feel like it was easy breezy until the second one came 18 months later. And then I was like, oh my goodness, I remember standing in the grocery store about to cry because here I am, a young woman with a lot of resources and support, but I felt like in that moment I was going to fall apart because I had to bring the kids in, the groceries in, all of those things. And then if I felt that way, I knew that there were so many other women that felt that way, which is one of the things that prompted me to actually start Golden Mamas.
So it kind of like is an opportunity for you to kind of provide a support group to
Absolutely.
other persons or other women that may have gone through the same thing as what you and others have gone through.
Absolutely, as well as resources as well. We provide resources or referrals to other organizations, one being Detroit Parent Network, for example, to be able to provide parent leadership training and parent advocacy training. We are our children's first line of defense, and so we want to make sure that mothers are equipped with the things that they need to be able to support their children and their families.
Now, what was one of the things that you, if you were talking to our listening and viewing audience, what advice would you give to young mothers that are raising children today?
So one of the pieces of advice that I would give young women would be to not take the elders' advice for granted. I was blessed to have my great-grandmother for the first 11 years of my life and my grandmother for 27 years. And I think I learned so much from my grandmother. That transfer of information was invaluable, as well as my mom. And so don't underestimate. I know in being a woman, having your own family, you sometimes feel like I got this. But I really encourage young women to don't be afraid to take advice from the elders.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that I think that a lot of people really don't really realize, that there's elders that have gone through some of the same things that the younger people are going through. So they should pretty much like listen to what they're saying, because they're really trying to give a lot of love back, so they may not have some of the missteps that some of the elders may have gone through.
Absolutely. And also, I would encourage them to just know that they've already been equipped inside of them with the things that they need to succeed, be it as a mom, in their careers. You just have to be able to trust your gut.
Okay. Now tell you, Golden Girls mentoring, how did that get started? I know you told like why you started, but how did that get started? Is that you, or is that other people that are involved in that?
There are other women that are involved. Myself and 3 other young ladies saw an opportunity, and we saw a need that needed to be filled, which is why we started Golden Girls. Myself, Destiny Ray, Tiffany Brooks, and Christina Rogers. The 4 of us come from a background where all from inner city, and wanted to be able to give back to young ladies what was given to us. And so there were a lot of women that poured into and sold into me as a young woman, and I wanted to be able to give that back to another young lady or another woman. That's important to me. And so we came together and we actually piloted this program through Detroit Parent Network under Shalonda Buckman's leadership.
And so now a lot of the ladies that are involved in the program with you are kind of sort of like graduates, more or less, from Detroit Parent Network.
Some, I would say so. And so Tiffany, Destiny, and I, we all worked together at Detroit Parent Network. Destiny served as an AmeriCorps member first with Detroit Parent Network. Shout out to AmeriCorps. That is truly an amazing program. So I wanted to take the opportunity to do that. And then Christina Rogers is an educator. She teaches for the district, and she and I have been friends for more than 15 plus years. And we just all would talk about, if we could do this for girls, what will we do? And one day I said, let's stop talking about it. Let's do it.
That's what it's all about, because I think so many of us have great ideas, but to get those ideas to bear fruit, that's sometimes the hardest thing to do, and sometimes it's that first step is the hardest step to take in your journey.
The first step was hard, but it's still hard even now, but we're pressing forward.
Well, the important part is that it sounds like you've got a good group of ladies that are very much committed to seeing young ladies become women that in turn will be able to go and disseminate the values that they and the character traits that they've developed and be able to share those with their children and then their children. So it's kind of like a residual effect, that goes over and over and over again, with the different generations.
Absolutely. And so the fact that two of us had been in youth development for more than 13 years when we first started, and then having a social worker and an educator on our team, we just gelled really well together, and it just made a whole lot of sense for us.
So you've given some advice as far as, say, to the young people. Now, what would the advice be when it comes down to the ladies, the mothers, the guardians of these young ladies that are in your program? What advice would you give to them to be able to go and give back to their daughters or their, nieces that are in the program?
So I would encourage them, when you first began to make the statement, I thought about my mom. I remember when I wanted to first join Girl Scouts, and my mother was very protective. And she says, no, you're not going to camp with them.
Why did she say that?
Just the fear of, stories and things like that of children going away. But coming full circle, I actually worked for Girl Scouts of Metro Detroit at the time, now Southeastern Michigan. And then my sisters were of age to become Girl Scouts. And so as an employee and program specialist for Girl Scouts, they got to do everything. And so just watching the moms and individuals that entrusted their daughters to us, they trusted the process. I truly believe that they saw something in me then that individuals still see now. There's a little saying, I say, leave your golden glow wherever you go. And so I try to be that person every single time so that they know the deposits of love that I'm giving, it's always going to come.
Leave your golden glow wherever you go.
Yes.
Okay, I'll have to remember that one. Okay, now you've got an event that's coming up. You've got a Emerald Scholarship Dinner and Fundraiser.
Yes.
Talk about that.
So this is our third annual Emerald Scholarship Dinner and Fundraiser. I'm so excited for this event. I actually wait for this event. I joked on the phone with you, and because this is my season to wear green.
Well, that's where the word emerald comes from. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And so, but this is an event where it allows the community to come together and give back and actually support Golden Girls Mentoring and to support us in providing young women and older women that are a part of our program with scholarships throughout the year. We offer 10 scholarships throughout the year, as well as it helps to cover our operating costs.
Okay. And now tell what's going to go on actually at the event.
Okay, so I'm really excited. We always try to have some entertainment and some honors, and so this year we will have one of Detroit's own funny men, Marv Ross, a comedian, will be coming out to grace us with his talent. We will have Kim Cooley, who will serve as the mistress of ceremony for the evening.
Okay.
And so really, really excited about that. We will be honoring some of our graduating seniors at the event, as well as women in the community, mentors, and community women.
So now, if someone would like to get tickets or they'd like to get more information, can you look at our camera and tell what is the contact information?
Absolutely. So our contact information is Golden Girls Mentoring, and that's www.goldengirlsmentoring.org. You can get tickets on our website, sign up to become a mentor, or register your daughter, or for you can register to join us at that website. We're all things social media, Golden Girls Mentoring. And
now the event is going to take place, that's going to be on Belle Isle.
Yes.
And that's going to be is that 1271 Loiter Way?
It is.
Now, what's that close to? 'Cause I see that name a lot for that street name, but where's that? What's that close to on the island?
So on the island, it actually sits right behind the amphitheater. Most people would know it now where the paddle boats, where you get on for the paddle boats.
Okay, and that's going to be from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock.
Yes,
And now it's formal attire.
it is.
Explain, because I know when a lot of times when people say the word formal, most people tend to think that we're talking about like tuxes or ball gowns or something like that.
So-
explain what that means when you say formal attire.
So it is formal, but black tie optional. If you want to come and light it up, please do. I welcome it. I love a good gown. And so formal attire actually just means no gym shoes, a nice tie, khakis if you have it, a nice dress. Just looking your best.
Well, I think that probably won't be a problem for Detroiters, because Detroiters know how to look their
Yes,
best
they do.
when they go out someplace.
Yes, they do.
So now, tell, in the few minutes that we have left, just tell a little bit about now, there's a lot of young ladies that may have had issues when it comes down to going to school. What advice would you give to some of some of our young ladies? Because there were situations where, persons were being abducted. There's, cases where, you've got young ladies that may need to, like you said before, take the advice of listen to their parents, listen to, their teachers, or listen to their, seniors that give them advice. But are there any tips that you give to young women in your program that kind of help to keep them safe? Because that's one of the main things we need to do, is to keep our young ladies safe, going to and from school, to the store. But what advice do you give to them?
Absolutely. So again, just reiterating that it's important to listen to the elders, those that came before you, because they have a little more experience. But also, as it relates to going to school and being safe, I would say the number one distraction is our cell phones. I don't care where we are, it's like it's glue or something. And so I would just encourage them to minimize the use of the cell phone if they are walking or taking the bus to school, just so that they can be aware of their surroundings. That is super important. As well as being willing to listen and follow directions. Teachers and school administrators are there for a reason. Security is there for a reason. And so I would just encourage them not to resist or buck against the grain. I know for me, I absolutely love school because I knew that education was my way out. And so I remember reading in Hill Harper's book, the only thing that he went into debt for was his education. And that was the one thing that I was absolutely willing to accept the debt for, my education, because it will take you to where you need to go.
And see, one of the things that I like too is that now, just as we tell with a lot of the young boys and the young men, that there are non-traditional opportunities out here for work.
Absolutely.
And talk about some of the different opportunities that young ladies could get into, because, there are now skilled trades that a lot of young ladies are able to get into now. So it's not like it's just, being some of the more traditional, opportunities for ladies, like to be attorneys or to be doctors or, engineers, but there's other opportunities for them as well.
Absolutely. So there are opportunities that precede your ultimate goal sometimes. I actually had a conversation with a mom on my way here, and she was having a conversation with one of our mentees, and she says, well, she's torn between a nurse and a doctor. And I said to her, well, she can do both. And she can, even before becoming a nurse, become a CNA and help pay her way through school. And some employers actually will provide tuition reimbursement assistance. And so it's a really great opportunity to even think outside of the box now when it comes to our future and careers and things like that, because you do have a lot of the different trades that are now available. not just to young men, but women as well.
Right,
And so
right.
we definitely want to encourage young ladies to no longer just think of those things as a man's job, because they absolutely have access to them as well.
Now, in a couple minutes we have left, so now if just give the contact information again, give the location for where your Golden Girls Mentoring Emerald Scholarship Dinner and Fundraiser is going to be held at.
Yes. Please, 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 everyone, join us for the 3rd annual Emerald Scholarship Dinner and Fundraiser. It will be on Belial at the Flynn Pavilion. The address is 1271 Loiter Way. You can contact me directly for tickets, 313-433-9185, or reach out to us on all social media at Golden Girls Mentoring or www.goldengirlsmentoring.org.
And if there's someone that wants to be a mentor for your program, what are some of the steps that they would have to take to become a mentor?
So we do ask them to complete a application, and we vet their application and just kind of do an interview with them to make sure they're a right fit. That's really the whole process. We do ask that they commit to a specific number of hours per month for the girls that they are assigned to.
When you say a specific number of hours, like a minimum of how many?
So the minimum is 48 for the year. A minimum of 48 for the year, so that's roughly 2 hours a month outside of our weekly sessions that we hold. And so mentors have to reach out to their girls at least once a month. Most times it won't be 2 hours at a time unless they're going on an outing, but most times it's like 30 minutes per session when they speak, because it can be over the phone or in person.
Well, Teresa, I really appreciate you coming on the show today. I mean, this has been a fast, as it seems like it always is, half an hour. I know that your event is going to be a very, very, very good success for a lot of the people that come out there. And I pray that you will get a lot of people that will go and come and support your event for years to come. And I do want to thank you again and appreciate Kimberly Cooley for getting us back together.
Absolutely.
Because we used to have opportunities to work together at Detroit's Parent Network.
Yes.
So I appreciate you again, and you definitely have to go, and I'll have to send an invitation for you to come back on again.
Please do.
And I do want to thank our audience for listening in today. Please support her endeavor, and please support Golden Girls Mentoring. And you have been watching Expose Under the Sun, sponsored by the Detroit Native Sun newspaper. And if you'd like to get a copy of the Detroit Native Sun newspaper, or you'd like to advertise in the Detroit Native Sun News, you can contact Ms. Valerie Lockhart, and her phone number is area code 313-457-5944. And you can also pick up a copy at the local Kroger supermarkets, where they also distribute copies of the Detroit Native Sun News. Again, I do want to thank my special guest, Teresa Mitchell, for coming on the show, and I appreciate our listening audience, and we will see you again, same time, same station next week. Also give a little shout out, thank you to R.J. Watkins and to Henry Tyler and to Tim Smith, our engineer extraordinaire. Thank you again. And also I'll give a shout out to Renee Stepping Out on Faith. So again, we'll see you again next week. Take care.